This is Math 122, homework number 2, and I'm going to show you how to do problem 13. It says factor completely the expression 4a squared plus 56a plus 96. Alright, when we're factoring an expression, we're looking at each term in the expression first to see if they have any common factors. That's where you should always start. So let's look at the numerals. We've got 4, 56, and 96. Well, they're all even, so I know 2 goes into them. Let's experiment with something bigger. How about 4, since the first coefficient is 4? If I check out 56 divided by 4, 14, it works nicely. 96 divided by 4 is 24. So the greatest common factor of 4, 56, and 96, if you remember GCF from Math 99, is 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a 4 out of each term, and in the parentheses, I'm going to make a big pair of parentheses, I'm going to put the leftovers from this term, and this term. I'm going to do 4a squared divided by 4. And what's left? A squared. So again, you're dividing this common factor out of each term and putting the leftovers inside these parentheses. We're kind of doing the distributive property backwards. Now the plus sign that I see here, and 56 divided by 4 was 14. And what do I have left over? The 14a. And finally, 96 divided by this 4 was 24. And there's no variable to be placed alongside it. Now I know I did this right if in my head I work backwards and I multiply this back out with the distributive property. 4 times a squared gives me 4a squared. 4 times 14a, 4 times 14 is 56, bring the a along, and I get 56a back. 4 times 24 was 96 when we checked it on the calculator. So I'm pulling that greatest common factor outside a pair of parentheses, and if I check back by multiplying through, it works. Now this is a trinomial, and it happens to be factorable into 2 binomials, as you practiced in the previous problems and on the video. So next step, I know that this might be factorable into 2 binomials, so I'm going to get those 2 binomials ready. Now remember how you do this piece? We're looking for 2 first terms that will give me a squared. We're doing FOIL backwards. 2 first terms that will give me a squared when I multiply them. Well, they would have to be a and a. A times a will make a squared when I FOIL this out. Again, we're thinking about FOIL backwards. Now let's look at the last terms. Something here in the last spot in the binomial times something here is supposed to give me 24. Now remember, you also end up with 2 like terms when you do these FOIL problems that give you the middle term, that 14a. So what I need to look for is a pair of factors of 24 that add up to 14. So off to the side, I'm going to start thinking about factor pairs of 24. 24 and 1. Well, there's no way 24 plus 1 makes 14. 12 and 2 are factors of 24. And when I add them up, they do make 14. Now, if I had been unlucky and started with 3 and 4, 8 and 3 multiplied make 24, but 8 plus 3 is only 11, so that was a bad choice. 6 and 4, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 plus 4 is only 10. I got lucky right away and found a factor pair, 12 and 2, that multiply to make 24, but add up to 14. So if I put the 2 or the 12 here, it doesn't matter, and I put the other factor here, and since everybody's positive, then it's just going to take plus signs in between. I think I have this factored now. Let's check it out. A times a will give me a squared. 2 times a will give me 2a. A times 12 will give me 12a. And 2 times 2 times 12 will give me the 24. I've got all the terms I need. When I add the 2 like terms, I get the 14a. There's my a squared, and there's my 24 when I FOIL this out. Alright, I am done. I have factored this into a factored form where everybody's multiplied now. 4 is multiplied by this, a plus 2, which is multiplied by this, a plus 12. I have 3 factors.